Welcome to this WKTV sports presentation. I am Mike Mall along with Gary Vandevelde and Doug Hansen, and we are coming to you from Walker's West Side Christian School today for one of the longest running card show events in not only West Michigan, but Michigan overall, as it's the 29th annual fundraiser here for the school. It's an event that our good friend Vern Gruendijk always invites us to and is spearheaded by. Today they're going to have Ron LeFlore here from the mid-70s to late 70s, the Tiger Speedster center fielder, in an effort to make money for the fundraiser.
He's still driving that 1970.
Well, we're going to let these guys introduce themselves. We've had them before, but we are joined by...
Hi, I'm Dale Burgraff. I'm the Development Director here at Westside Christian.
And everybody is a West Michigan viewer on WKT knows this gentleman.
I'm Vern Gruendijk, and I'm helping with the card show.
There we go. Well, we appreciate the invite to come back with you today. How many years is this? 29, I just said. Was I correct?
You are correct. Yeah, 29.
And what do the funds primarily go to? Is there anything special that it's spearheaded for?
Well, the funds raised at this particular show are for the PTA. So there's a variety of things that the PTA does to support teachers primarily and other programs that don't get funded through our general budget.
Okay. And we all know funding this days are very, very difficult in the state of Michigan, to say the least.
Yep, you got to work at it.
So this year, you've got Ron LeFlore coming in.
Ron LeFlore is going to come. Do people know much about him out there, do you think, or not?
Why don't you give us a little bit of the background here?
I can tell you what I know. He played with the Tigers between 1972 and 1979. And then he went to the Montreal Expos for a year, and then he finished out his career with the White Sox for a couple of years. So that's his short in a career. What he is known for, and I didn't know this till recently, he's tied in with Ty Cobb. And you knew what Ty Cobb did. He stole bases. So Ron LeFlore and Ty Cobb are the only two Detroit Tigers to win back-to-back stolen bases championships 2 years in a row. So that's one of the things he's known for. The other thing I was told, I believe today, is that Ron LeFlore may be the only player to have been a stolen base champion in both leagues. He apparently won with Montreal his year with Montreal, 1 year with the Tigers. So that's kind of what he's known for. And if you're interested in his story, you ought to look for his book. I don't know what the title of it is, but there's a book about Ron LeFlore. He's had quite a life, quite a background. But he played for the Tigers, and he's coming today to sign. So we're looking forward to him coming.
Good deal. That is interesting. I did not realize that part with Ty Cobb and him. I knew he was a stolen base, but I didn't realize in that situation.
Until recently, our man down here, Lubbers, knows a lot of that stuff, Dave Lubbers. So.
Okay. Good deal. Your event, it's always at the same weekend every year? You try to do anyway?
Yeah, there's kind of been a rhythm here over the years. This first full week of March is typically where we land. So, and we got a great weather day today. So we're looking for a lot of people to show.
Yeah, the gym, we just did a quick walkthrough in the gym. It's packed. You've got them up and down both sides here. How many vendors do you usually have, Vern? Do you know?
There are 61 tables here with 30 vendors plus. That's I think the biggest we've had, the largest we've had. So yeah, as you can see, the gym is filled and the hallway here is filled too. So, and these are people. Many of them have come back year after year. I don't know if anybody's been here 29 years, but some have been here a lot of years. And I told Dale here that the show sells itself. It's once they've been around here, they come. They like to come here, and they also like to come for the cause too. They like the school. They like the cause. And so a lot of them come for that. They like to sell, but they like to help here too. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely is. And as we said, the funds are always harder and harder to be raised by. So I know it's a full appreciation by the vendors knowing that they are going to be able to give something back like that. So as always, it's our second year of being here. So we appreciate the invite once again, Vern and Jay. And we look forward to what the day brings. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and enjoy your day.
Thanks, Vern.
Appreciate
it. We're joined by a very familiar face, one of our favorites every year, Mr. Tom Brooks.
Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, my friend. How about you?
Outstanding, thanks.
Good to see you as always here.
Always.
We missed your show this year. How did that go?
Swimmingly. It went really well. Always, it's a joy to do it, put it on, and the house was full, the concession was rolling, so it was a successful day, and it wasn't a winter snowstorm.
There you go.
So
How many years was yours?
This was my 31st annual, so
So a couple years longer than what this one is going. This is number 29 here. How many of them have you been here for? Do you know?
I'm going to say about 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I was up here one time with my wife and said, honey, I feel like I want to do this show. And she said, please do, and leave me at home.
How many do you do a year, roughly?
I'm going to say a dozen.
Okay.
But since I'm a pool man, it stops in the spring, and I don't start back up till the fall.
Okay.
So I miss quite a few, but about a dozen.
Yep. And we were talking a little while ago, the ages as to some of the, not just the memorabilia that you're seeing, but the collectors and the vendors. What does that look like in your eyes these days?
Well, the new stuff, the 2020 cards that are out right now are the hottest thing on fire.
Okay.
Old and new collectors are seriously trying to complete those sets and buy those cards and the inserts and all that. And then the diehard guys are more into this vintage,
Yep.
like what I sell. But I notice a lot of kids go around with lists.
Okay.
And there's one kid in particular that's been trying to complete a 54 set.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's probably 16 now, but he's
Really?
been doing it for at least 6 years, since he was 10. So that impresses me when I see someone that age and have interest in the vintage.
Absolutely so.
I wished I could have been that clairvoyant when I was 10
Yep.
and kept a little more of the stuff that might have slipped through my hands.
Or slipped onto the spokes of a bicycle someplace.
We hated Mickey Mantle, so he was the first to go. What a mistake.
Yeah, because I know you're still looking for that one now. You probably had it.
I know, I didn't. No, that's from 52. I was born in 60, so
Okay.
no, that one didn't elude me. I still have the one at home, but he's got a real haircut. Somebody really got to him, so I'm still looking for that 52 rookie.
There you go. Well, you always have some good stuff hanging around here. It's always fun to walk in and see what's what. Did you bring anything special for the show, or is it just kind of everyday things here for you today?
The only new thing that I have is the World Series tickets down the road here, and we'll move your cord with you.
Absolutely.
And that is this piece I put together here, the 1968 Tiger tickets and Cardinal tickets, and then the 7 games corresponding with each ticket, which is my new thing, I guess. Creative minds, what they want to know, and I've been creating that for years. It was just really tough getting this game because Gibby struck out 17.
Sure.
And then, of course, any final game or Game 7 ticket is always a rarity, and those two were the stumbling blocks.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And we commented earlier as we looked at the price of the tickets, $6, $8, and $12.
Not what I paid for the ticket stubs just recently, let me tell you.
And you didn't even get the pleasure of the game.
I didn't even get to watch it in black and white. I did when I was a kid, though.
There you go.
They wheeled the TVs into our classrooms because there were day games.
Exactly.
And, boy, what a thrill that was, not having to learn and be able to watch Tiger baseball.
I remember it well. I was just telling Doug Hansen the same thing. I said I saw the picture of Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehand with that big hug after the last out. I said, it's hard to remember, but I do because it was in the school. They had the TV going.
Yeah, the old AV TV got wheeled in, and, man, we were like, boy, are we in for a treat this afternoon.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Tom, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. Always a pleasure to see you. I'm glad you're doing well, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks, Gary.
Sunday's here and the bacon's on. The eggs are frying and the coffee's strong.
Well, we are joined now by Mr. Dave Lubbers. Dave, how you doing today, sir?
Very good, thank you. Yeah, good to see you again.
It's always good to see you. How have things been going so far? A little slow to start with, but I'm sure it'll pick up once Mr. LeFlore makes his appearance.
It will, and not only that, but just a pleasure being around baseball fans. You know, you can't help but have a good time around dedicated baseball fans.
That's right, and with this show, that means that spring training is going on and the regular season's not too far away anymore.
I was just at spring training in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, I had a great time down with my friend Mark, who was also at this show. We had a good time. We gave Gardenhire some excellent tips, I might add. I just hope you listen.
What do you think the chances are?
Well, I think there's a possibility they're going to be. They should make an improvement this year. Yeah, they got some great pitching coming up. I know that. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to the Casey Mize and Fados and those pitchers coming up. Right. So yep. as well as the position player Riley Green, who I understand had a great spring. Okay. And so, but he's probably not ready major league material just yet. But good future with him. Yeah.
As they always say, hope springs eternal, and that's the case in Detroit every year, and come March and April. So
tied for first place.
Perfect record.
Exactly. I haven't lost yet.
Well, we just showed a couple of pictures here real quick of the yearbook and another one, They Earned Their Stripes, that had Ron LeFlore stories in it. What can you tell us about Mr. LeFlore?
Ron LeFlore was in prison. Everybody knows this. And he was referred to Billy Martin by a guy who owned a bar in Detroit, believe it or not.
How appropriate would
that
that
be? Exactly.
Billy?
Surprise, surprise, huh? And they got him out of prison for a day, and he did a tryout at Tiger Stadium, hits a bunch of balls into the upper deck in batting practice, and the crazy thing about LeFlore is he didn't play baseball at all as a child. I mean, it was amazing. And he started playing in prison, and then he really picked it up. He was a superb athlete, and they signed him while he was still in prison, and the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
I was talking with a gentleman at a basketball game last night, and he said they actually had the privilege of going into the prison and playing against them. They were like a traveling team.
Oh, yeah.
He said that Ron LeFlore was so fast. They had him and they had another gentleman that actually was faster than LeFlore. They would play with two outfielders the majority of the time, and he said, and they still would track things down. They were that quick.
Well, to give you an idea of how fast he is, well, at the time, he was the only major league ball player to lead two separate leagues in stolen bases. I think it was in '78. He led when he played with the Tigers. He led the American League in stolen bases. 2 years later, he did the same thing with the Montreal Expos, and I don't think that's been anybody else has done that since then. So I think he's the only one to ever accomplish that feat, which is very rare.
Yeah, absolutely is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a total of like 95 or 98. I mean, he was pushing the 100 mark with Montreal.
He was under 100, but it was close, right? I think it was in the 90s, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, it's always a pleasure seeing and talking with you and seeing the different things you have around here, so we appreciate it.
One other thing about LeFlore, he and Cobb are the only two Tigers to have hitting streaks, to have more than one hitting streak of 25 or more games. Really? Yeah, he did it twice, and of course Cobb did it. So, okay. But that's pretty good to be mentioned in the same sentence as Ty Cobb.
Absolutely, is without a question. I was not aware of that one. That is something. Our historian strikes again here. Thank you, sir.
I'm full of meaningless information. Good to see you again.
You too.
Okay.
Well, we go from the historian to our comedian, but a very good friend.
You bet. I'm glad to see you guys because you're very special people, and I kind of gravitate to people that are special and they do things unselfishly for other people, and that's what you guys represent. And I try to be that way. None of us are so good that we can get along in this life by ourselves. We need each other. And if you're different than me, that makes you an asset. That makes you a good thing. you know. And before I forget, if anybody remembers Coach of Lee High School football team, but he's just a great guy, and he's got to have a serious heart surgery. He has to go to the Cleveland Clinic to do it because they've never done one in Grand Rapids before. So I would like everybody to remember him in their prayers and his family. It's tough on his girls. They're not all that old yet, you know. But so no matter what you got going, just take time out during the day, you know. But yeah, you know, I think it's fun to be here, though. It's a great show. We're at Westside Christian, of course. This is where my kids went to school.
So you've got some history here.
Oh,
with your
yeah.
family.
You bet. Yeah. But, you know, you put God first in your life, it's going to show.
Yep. And the coach that he's talking about for name-wise is Tom DeGennaro, the longtime on-again, off-again. We see him at many of these shows on a regular basis. I was looking around for him this morning and wondering where he was, so I appreciate that update.
You bet. He's a great friend, and, you know, he comes in, and the last couple times he come in, he just wasn't himself, you know, and he's the kind of guy that goes out of his way to help people. He's always helping some people. You know, you see kids come up to him that have been out of high school for a long time, and they give him a hug, and he's just, you know, Coach DeGennaro, you know, and stuff. So, but that's the kind of people we can remember and take care of, you know.
And how are you doing? Are you doing good these days?
Oh, yeah, you know, I got so little to complain about, I don't bother with it, you know. I've been married 54 years to the same lady, and once in a while she says things like she tells the server at the restaurant that I'm out on work release, you know. So, but, you know, she developed a sense of humor. She never throws anything at me heavier than a dish towel or something, you know. So, and if you want to avoid being hit, you stand in front of her. So.
It's like a Lions wide receiver, huh?
That's right. That's right. You know, hey, you know, I never thought of that. You know, but you know, the Lions are that way, but they're still my team. You know, they're still, you know.
It's Michigan. You know, it's like the Tigers. You have to root for them.
We go every year to see the Tigers, and you know, it seems like the last couple of years it's been a little discouraging. It's not losing so much is the way they lose sometimes. You know, when they don't seem to put the effort out, don't give it their best. How can you not give it your best? You know, I played for 62 years. The last couple was kind of slippery slope a little bit, but you know, I always had a lot of people to play with. I had a lot of teams, you know, and I was a good ball player, but there's more to it than that. I'm a good teammate. I'm a good friend to have, you know. A few years ago, I was coaching a team, and the guy came walking up there and asked if we were a certain team, and I said, no, we're not. And he said, well, he was just joined his church, and he wanted to play on their ball team, and he couldn't find him. I said, well, just practice with us tonight, you know. And he was so excited because he'd been a Christian for a year, and his girlfriend had let him to go to church, and she'd been a Christian for 2 years. And he said the bruises on her are starting to go away, and I thought, well, what's the matter with that? She came home all excited because she accepted Jesus, and her parents picked her up, threw her through the picture window back out on the sidewalk.
Oh, man.
And when she was allowed by the court to go get her clothes and stuff out of the house, she discovered in the closet that they were Satan worshipers. You know, so we remember people, remember each other, you know. You can give a hug across the room, you know. Physical hugs are beneficial, but sometimes you just say hi, you know. You don't know if that person is, maybe you're the only smile they see all day, you know. Should we get back to sports stuff? But, you know, I finally, I'm 74 now. I realize what wisdom you're supposed to get as the years go by, you know. So I don't know all the answers, you see, but I know who does. So if necessary, I go home, I call my wife, you know, and see what happens, you know. So whatever she says, don't ever call my wife the boss, though.
No?
No.
Why not?
She is. She doesn't want to be called that.
Oh. There's a line there, huh?
Oh, yeah. But, you know, she's just a peach.
There you go.
But, you know, this is a hobby. It's not a business. And if I do have a great day, fine.
Yep.
I always take home at least $10 from 10% or whatever goes in a little thing. Give it to church tomorrow. So.
Yep, there you go. Well, as always, we appreciate the time, and as always, we got some very good life lessons from our friend here.
You guys are priceless. Thank you very much.
You know, I was going to comment earlier, you were walking around with a couple of $1 bills in your pocket, and I figured that was for me to come and interview you. I'm not seeing them anymore at this point. Oh, he's reaching into the deeper pocket. I like that. But, I was just kind of looking to see what's in that pocket besides.
I can give this to you.
Yeah, sir.
You realize this is money meant for my wife. So now.
And she's the boss, so I don't want to cross that line.
I remember a comedian saying that he don't know what he lost. He don't know when he lost it. He don't know how he lost it. He don't even know what it was. But he's glad he just doesn't want it back. Hey, just keep smiling, guys.
There you go. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Brown hair, green eyes, asked me for a dance in the moonlight. The way you held me, boy, I felt so fast. In my head, I was thinking, how could we look at every occasion? From that first night, I thought we were.
Well, we are joined now by
Marv Vandenbosch.
Marv. It's always good to see you, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Back once again this year.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Love being here.
There you go.
Yep.
But I'm seeing you're running solo this year.
Yep. My brother has had health issues for quite a while with neuropathy, just been harder time to walk, and little cancer that's in remission, and continues to have some problems with that. So we're taking care of his stuff, and we're still a partner. So
there you go. Well, our prayers are with him from that point of view.
Thank you. Yes, very much.
The day has been good so far?
Yes. Yep. It's always fun just to come here and meet your customers, whether they buy anything or not. They stop and talk. So.
And you're going to have a good view because the table is right smack dab in front of you, where Mr. LeFlore is going to be in short while.
Oh, good deal. I'll look forward to that.
We were commenting on some of the cards you've got down there, and you were just telling us a little bit of history on Norm Cash card. Tell some of our viewers about that one, because I know I forgot all about it.
Yep. Norm Cash came up as a Chicago White Sox, and he played the entire year with the White Sox. And then the 1960 card actually has him as a Detroit Tiger, but he has a Cleveland Indian hat on. Weirdest thing. So apparently he got traded from Chicago to Cleveland, Cleveland to Detroit during that winter. So it's something that we probably don't know about, but apparently that's what happened. Yep. So, yeah.
And as you said down there when we were talking about it, you don't know what Chicago or maybe Cleveland gave up for him, but I don't know that it would have been enough.
No, not. Because Cash was a Tiger a long time, and a good one, a real good one. So,
definitely. So,
yeah.
Of your cards that are down there that you've got on display, do you have anything that's a special one to you at all or not?
Not really special. Occasionally I'll get one, but then it'll go off my table anyway. So I just like some of these old ones, and I've gotten to the point now of 1954s through 1964s. Okay. Just in the tops, and my goal is to get one of each card of every set in the nicest condition that I can get.
Yep. Yeah, because you don't even look at the new stuff, do you?
I do not look at any of the new stuff. Yep. Nope. And if somebody likes vintage cards, I'm sure that they will like nice vintage cards. So that's the goal.
How difficult are they to come by these days?
Very.
Are they?
Very. Yep, you can bid on an awful lot of cards before you get one.
Okay, so you're doing a lot of it online?
A lot of it online, and I'll go to some of these shows, and occasionally guys are starting to get a little bit out of it, and there aren't a whole lot of the vintage around anymore, so at least not filling sets.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And as we commented with a couple of the other vendors, even the dealers you're seeing are generally on the older side, but you're seeing some more of the youth up here. I know we've seen some wandering around here today and behind some of the tables today, and that's good to see.
Yeah, that sure is. That sure is good to see. Yep, and too many of us are starting to get out of it.
Yep.
And I hope I don't have to for a while, but you never know.
Exactly.
The Lord only knows. So.
There you go. There you go, without a doubt. Well, as always, we appreciate the time, and again, we wish your brother the best.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to see you guys again today. All right. Thank you.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up.
Well, we are joined now by
Tony Drew.
Tony. Good to see you again. I know we talked last year at one point as well.
Yep.
How's things been going so far today?
Very good.
That's good. You've got in your hands, we heard about this picture earlier. We had to come over and talk to you about it. What is it?
I got a photo from 1975. I just heard that Ron LeFlore was signing today, and I did some research. I remembered that there was a story that there was a tomato plant growing behind the old flagpole in Tiger Stadium, and he was out there watering it every day. And I was able to find this photo online, and this is what I'm going to have signed today.
That is very, very special. I had never heard of it before when you said it, and I think Tom Brooks mentioned it to start with. I had to pull it up on Google to see it. It's amazing.
It's there.
Yeah, so in Tiger Stadium, that's where it was. I was going to check it behind the flagpole in straightaway center.
Because they had that stupid flagpole in the middle of center field.
Yep.
And he was out there with the water can watering it.
Well, I'm sure his signature is going to look very nice on that after it's over and
I
done.
hope it flashes back memories for him, too. That's pretty much why I got it.
There you go. That makes perfect sense. How's been business overall today?
Very good. It's a Vern show. I don't care.
There you go.
I just like doing the West Side show. It's great. Like I said last year, just come to the show to see the people, and beautiful weather today, too.
Oh, no kidding.
Beautiful.
I remember last year we were parking on icy roads out there.
Well, last year I left the same time this year as I did last year, and I had to ask Vern if I could set up because I got here like almost a half hour earlier than I did last year.
That's a good thing. An early spring in March in Michigan is nothing bad.
Nope.
All right. Well, we appreciate the time very much. Thank you.
Yep.
Pull out the album, go back to the start. Family will always be part of my heart. There's one of my sisters.
Well, we are joined now by
Kurt Holseder.
Kurt. Good to see you again. I know we talked last year at the same show.
I'm always here.
Absolutely. And you've got some neat memorabilia here behind you as well, once again.
Thank you. Yeah, I really love the autograph pieces, things that are eye-catching. I do cards as well, but I really like old stuff and the autograph pieces. Yep.
Now, are the bigger things like this, are they difficult to come by at times, or are they not too bad?
They are, and they're a little bit more expensive. And a lot of people don't have as much space, so they buy the 8x10s or the smaller photos or whatever. But the big things that you can kind of make the centerpiece of a display are a little bit hard to come by, and some of them are more unique. You get a team-signed item like that. It's got maybe 60 autographs on it. Those are kind of a one-of-a-kind item, whereas the other players. You can find a lot of K-lines, but that's a particularly nice picture. So, I like the stuff that catches people's attention.
We were commenting on that before we started talking with you. I mean, that looks like it's in high def, and that you figure that's from the World Series back in '68.
And people like things that commemorate an event, like Ripken's streak, for instance, and the World Series. And a lot of people collect Hall of Fame players specifically. So I kind of try to feature those as well.
Yep. And we commented on the football picture to the side. You got it labeled as Brett Favre, but the Chicago Bear in there isn't all bad either.
No, it's only signed by Favre. Somebody would have bought that from me earlier if they had both signed it, but unfortunately I didn't have Urlacher on there. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So, and we always have to comment on the big block M just for our cameraman. I mean, he's such a big fan, so he's got
to me standing over here, I guess. Yeah. Promote the university too, so that's a good thing. I've got a lot of Michigan State stuff too, so I don't.
Don't go there, because that's where he really is the fan of.
Okay, got it. So it's a little jab there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, Kurt, we appreciate the time as always.
Nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
There's no mail in the mailbox. There's no late night and miss you calls. There's no flowers on the doorstep, but I'm not worried at all.
Well, we are joined by the star of the day today, Mr. Ron LeFlore. Ron, welcome to Westside Christian.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time with us. This was a surprise. We didn't expect to get a chance to talk to you today. We figured you'd be so busy with autographs, and we didn't want to hold everything up.
Well, I'm getting ready to start, but I've always got time to speak to the fans of the Tigers.
Well, that's greatly appreciated. How are you doing these days?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm living in Florida. Okay. I mean, the weather's nice. I come up here and I'm freezing my butt off. But everything is going pretty well. You know, I mean, I'm doing a little work with Little League Baseball in Florida. Then I do these appearances once in a while. But other than that, I'm doing fine. I'm retired. I'm collecting my pension and Social Security.
There you go.
And living in warm weather.
Sounds like a good combination to me. Do you go out to many games during the course of a season or not?
I usually catch the Tigers when they come down there. I might go see the Yankees or the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But
root against them? But,
well, you know what? I am a Rays fan right now, living there. But my heart's going to always be in Detroit because this is a team that really gave me the opportunity to be a Major League Baseball player. So you've got to always have your heart where you was first signed.
You bet.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been seeing and talking different things and everything. I have to ask, and you're going to get the picture to autograph, so I don't want to steal the thunder at all. But we have to ask, there is a picture floating around out there of you watering a tomato plant in Tiger Stadium.
Well, you know, it was just a gimmick just to get attention to center field at Tiger Stadium because it's so far away from home plate, you know. And so we decided to come up with a little idea like that to stir up some excitement. And so we put the tomato plant there, and they got a picture of me watering it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was what, right behind the flagpole? Is that where it was?
No, it was right in the 440 in center field.
Did anything ever come out of it?
Well, it was some tomatoes on there, yes.
Was it really?
Oh, absolutely so, yes. But, you know, everything that the Tigers were doing at that time was trying to drum up fans. Sure. And we started having a pretty exciting team. Fidrich came up, then Rosemont, Petrie, and Jack Morris, and all those guys came up. The baseball in Detroit got a little exciting again. Sure. So, and then it spilled over into '84 when they won the World Series again.
Absolutely.
So they made some moves, and they got players that they needed, and Sparky took them to the World Series, and the guys performed for it.
There you go. Absolutely. So you stole so many bases between the two leagues and everything. What was the key to a steal?
Really trying to pick up the first movement of a pitcher. You know, like sometimes they'll tweak their butt.
Yep.
Some pitchers turn their hip. It's just different various reasons that you look for in a pitcher to try to get an advantage, and it's so difficult, you know. And I mean, now the guys are throwing so hard, like you've got to really be able to read and get your proper jumps. I mean, if you don't do that, you're going to be thrown out. So you don't see a lot of base stealing nowadays.
That's what I was going to ask. That was going to be my follow-up question. It's almost like it's a lost art these days compared to what it used to be. But that's perfect logic right there as to why with the speed that they are throwing the ball at these days.
But there's a lot of guys that are fast. You know, I think they're afraid of being thrown out. You can't be afraid if you're going to be a base stealer. And I think even though the guys are throwing harder, I mean, you can still read pitchers and you can still get your jumps and be successful. I think because of the amount of home runs being hit now, that it takes away chances of guys to steal bases because they want them to stay in place so the guy may hit a home run. You get 2 runs instead of maybe 1 on a hit. So that's what I think the reason that they're not stealing bases anymore, you know. And they paying them so much money, you know, you can get hurt a lot stealing bases. And you know, I guess the guys aren't trying to risk not getting their money, but it's guaranteed. So what are you worried about?
Yep, exactly.
Go out there and exert yourself to the maximum. I mean, leave everything out on the field every day.
Play the game like it should be.
Absolutely.
Played.
I mean, you know, I don't feel good about some of the players that they get these little minor injuries and they're out for a month. You know, we had to play through injuries, and we are responsible for these guys making all of this money nowadays. And we're not getting credit for it, and the guys are not keeping up the pace of the game that we started to get the excitement out of the fans again.
Exactly. The stage you guys set 30 years ago is a whole lot different stage than what's out there today.
It really is, and hopefully these guys can start doing the things that they should do. I mean, every day. I mean, condition yourselves. You know, these guys are going to the weight room. Baseball condition. That's running the bases, throwing from the outfield, doing your sprints, or doing your line to lines. You know, these players aren't in baseball shape. They're in weightlifting shape or football shape. And your quick twitch muscles need to be long, but they can snap back quick, you know. And these guys' muscles are too tight. You see they pulling hamstrings, quads, I mean, everything. Yep. So just if the guys would just go to spring training, get in baseball shape, run. Get your butt in the gym and run instead of lifting those weights. Yep. You'll see a lot more injuries. And the people will get the excitement out of baseball again because the guys will be loose. They'll be ready to go.
Yep, absolutely. Was there a pitcher-catcher combination that you said you can't have a fear to be a base stealer, but was there a pitcher-catcher combination or just a catcher alone that you really did not feel the most comfortable running against?
Well, Bob McClure that was with Milwaukee, Scott Sanderson, and Mike Flanagan with Baltimore, those lefties there, like they had just little quick steps to the plate, and they had great moves, you know. They could not cross the plane and they could still throw the baseball. But these pitchers that cross the plane that are left-handers, you know, like they had some guys that I could steal off of, left-handers, and then some of them you just didn't want to take the chance, you know, because catchers were good and accurate with the ball. And if you didn't get a good jump, you're not going to be successful. Right. And so I tried to, you know, make it my business to be successful the majority of the times.
Absolutely. So, well, I see they got the lineup coming up here for your autographs. Ron, we greatly appreciate the time. Like I say, it was unexpected. I didn't think we would make it, but thank you so very much, and all the best to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are
took my sins and all of my sorrows when you gave your life on the cross. You loved me first, you opened my eyes, your resurrection made it possible for me to sing. You did it all, you're the only reason I'm accepted at the Father's throne. You changed my heart, and I want the whole world to know you're an endless flowing river of love and truth. It's not about me, it's all about you. Yeah, it's all about you. You gave me a voice to sing songs of worship. You are worthy of thanks and praise.
Well, that is going to wrap it up from Westside Christian School here today. A big thank you to Gary Vandevelde and Doug Hansen for helping me out, Mike Mall, for the 29th Annual Card and Collector Show. A special thank you to all the vendors that we were able to talk with, and Vern Gruendijk, and especially the special guest, Ron LeFlore. So, once again, reporting from Westside Christian School. Until the next time, all the best.
Would you accept this in lieu of money?
No, sir, I don't want to take your snack.
It's kind of wrinkled, you see. It's kind of rubbery-like and stuff.
Well, we are joined now by Mr. Dave Lubbers. Dave, always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again. My pleasure.
How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great. Having a good time.
That's a good deal. Is that going to go on the blooper film?
Yeah. Okay, start on.
Just do a quick interview with the guys here. Good morning, Vern. You don't need to run away. No, you're in this too. Come on back. Oh, gonna put me on a chair? Oh, I won't know how to do it in a chair. There you go. That's good enough. That's good enough. You know, we're just local community TV. That's all right.
They probably can't see my little whiskers on there. When you look at this face, the whiskers disappear.
There's that famous bat you needed to get signed. And that book, the book of baseball.
Yeah, they are sitting, my friend, in my Tigers room. Totally forgot them. Call me old and forgetful.